Hello, Fallout fans. Good news! Your day has come! You can finally play Fallout 2 and Fallout 1 on Android with all the settings and perks, all the sound and ambient noise, everything. Wow! And all we need is our own copy of Fallout 1 or Fallout 2, the game, and the QEMU emulator, which has been modified a bit to create the Fallout launcher. Exciting! Although fairly stable after several months of work, it's still unstable. But you can play for an hour, 2 hours stably with random crashing. Woohoo! But actually, you can play for quite a long time. And there we are. We're all started up and ready to go. Now, this is a heavily modified Win95. Looks like a Vault-Tec computer. I have multiple empty images here that are creating hard drive space and space for Fallout. You'll need your own copies of Fallout, the game. Please do not ask for them. Once you're ready to go, when you start Windows for the first time, you'll need to toggle your volume button in order to use the mouse. That's a good thing to note. Let's start with Fallout 1. Now, previously, we could run Fallout 1 with DOSBox. DOSBox Turbo ran it quite well. And we're kind of doing like the same thing, but with an x86 emulator, which runs it quite a bit faster, and we can do all the ambient sounds. The one downside, videos aren't going to work properly. Same with Fallout 1, Fallout 2. They're just too CPU intensive. But the gameplay, the most important thing, it's all there. All the sound, voice conversations with NPCs are faster. It's really exciting. So I put quite a bit of work into getting this happening. Had quite a bit of help with some testing. There you see the audio in the videos is kind of like hiccupy. It runs, it's kind of neat, but really it's the gameplay which is great. This videos, you can watch them on YouTube and just check them out if you want to see. But the gameplay is what's important here. And it runs faster than any other method previously done. This is the way to play it. And let's skip forward. Here's Fallout 1 on Android with the ambient sounds. A little sound distortion. Let's load up a game. Load times are quite reasonable, usually under a minute. Fallout 2 is quite a bit slower, and it's harder to run Fallout 2, but Fallout 1 is quite spiffy and works very well with this method. Now, if you've seen my video about how to run Fallout 1 with DOSBox Turbo, you'll recognize this little route I'm going to run, because I'm going to run you through the same path, so you can directly compare the performance, see what you think. Now you notice there's a little audio distortion. I hear this doesn't happen so much on other devices, such as Samsung Galaxy phones, but it's a little more problematic. I'm running an HP touchpad with CyanogenMod 9, and my audio is a little more glitchy. But all in all, it runs very well. And here we are, booted into the game. Performance is quite good with Fallout 1. And you can compare this directly with Fallout running on DOSBox. There's the ambient noises. As you can see, it runs quite well. Now, you can turn off the ambient noises to improve performance, of course, but it is nice to have everything running in the game. Now, this is really only limited by the speed of our device, which is one really big benefit of getting this running, sort of stably on here. So the faster your device, the smoother this will run. Let's talk to the village elder. See how the conversations are. Oh, a little glitch. When you double tap the screen sometimes, the scanner will come up. So it's a little on-screen glitch with the interface in Fallout 1. Not too much of a problem, though.
I am in desperate need of assistance. My brother Tandy is missing. I do not know what to do.
Have you looked for her?
My people are not skilled in this. Already 3 patrols have gone out to look, but none returned.
Well, it's a good thing your audio works.
I believe one of the raider clans is responsible. Retribution for our resistance to them. Take this spear. It was found where my daughter was last seen.
As you can see, audio and NPC conversations
Talk
work
to
well.
Seth. He knows much about these raiders. And Godspeed, Wanderer.
Faster than any other method I've tried on Android. Now let's go to the world map and show you how it runs. Now, running these games is quite intensive. I'd recommend a minimum dual-core device with 1.5 gigahertz processor. I overclock my HP touchpad from a default of 1.2. But newer devices, quad-core devices, will be able to run these kind of games a lot smoother. But this is the best I've seen it run so far. Let's take you to the world map. Again, the load times are about under a minute. Considerably longer for Fallout 2. So in Fallout 2, we're gonna I'll pause the video for some of the longer load times so we'll have more gameplay time. And we're gonna go adventure across the wasteland and just try it out. Much like we're gonna do here. Let's go to the Raiders clan. The world map loading is usually quite intensive, but it loads quite smoothly here. These Raiders are the cons. Let's go say hello and show you how the combat's running. Quite smoothly. Remember, the faster your device, the faster this will run. Now, all the patches, mods, they all work with Fallout 1 and mostly with Fallout 2. Some exceptions, but you can test out different combinations. You'll just need to use my replaced Fallout config files to get it to run if you have problems, and a few optimizations. The scanner comes up. Little glitch. And double tap it. It's basically on the left side of the screen here, so if you don't use the left side of the screen, you use the right side of the screen, it will come up. But if you double tap the left, it's like an invisible button kind of thing. Now I use the volume buttons to toggle left and right mouse. It's just great to have the ambient noises and absolutely everything working. Alright. Let's say hello with my SMG. Little burst. As you can see, the audio and video working quite smoothly together. Some audio distortion in the background. Could vary across devices. I also have a Bluetooth keyboard attached. Helps for ease of use in the game. It's pretty much the performance you'd expect from, I believe it's a Pentium 2 with 512 megs of memory. In the bigger load scenes like this, there's a lot of guys in the background moving around, and that kind of takes a little more time to load. For the most part, it runs just like a PC. And finally, with all the features, all the mods. Oh, there's the scanner thing again. And let's do one more round, and then we're going to go right into Fallout 2. Running just like this on Android. All the bells and whistles. All right. Well, as you can see, it's running quite well. Fallout 1, there you go. And we're going to exit out. See, it's quite smooth. Now, there's empty disk images, and you're going to basically copy and paste your copy of Fallout installed on your PC into those images, and I have several of them mounted. Now, I have one for Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, but I'd always recommend rebooting if you plan to go from one to the other and have both connected. There's lots of instructions in the README file. Oh, little Easter eggs to find out, lots of surprises. And whenever you're done, you want to clear it out of memory. Oops. Because it'll have problems loading if it's still in there. Sometimes it can be pesky to get rid of. And you just kind of make sure it's gone in every location, boot it up again. You have any problem, you exit it out, you clear it out like so. Running ice cream sandwich. And you notice we've got our little loady bar, so if we have any problems, we'll know instantaneously. Now this is quite resource intensive, so you're going to want to have a full battery to try this out. It's like playing any other game. It's not harmful to your device, but playing video games makes it get hot, battery drains faster. Alright, again, toggle the volume button to move the mouse the first time, and we're ready to play Fallout 2. Now Fallout 2 is quite a bit more intensive than Fallout 1. It takes quite a bit longer to load. But it's quite impressive to have running in our little platform here too. Now it'll take a little time to load up. So basically, we're going to copy and paste our copy of Fallout 1 or Fallout 2 from your own PC into the image file. Now the image file will be in a zip file, and it'll be a completely empty image, and it'll be like a few megs, and you'll unzip and it'll be huge, a couple gigs, 1 or 2 gigs. And then there's going to be a free application, which is WinImage. And you're going to download this from a link from Softopedia, and you'll have a 30-day free trial. And within this time, basically, you just remember to create your image, and you basically open up the image, and you drag it in. There's nothing in there. Close it, click Save, close it, put it into the folder, the emulator folder, the SDL folder, and you're going to copy that entire folder over to your device. And then you have an application to install, and that's the QEMU x86 emulator. And this is going to run the game for you. Now, once Fallout runs, you're going to see the videos. It's kind of like Fallout 1. Videos are a little sketchy, very CPU intensive to run these videos, and there's nothing I could really do to speed them up any more than I already have. So you have to bear with me on that. Now Fallout 2, all kinds of options and mods work. One exception I had was with Killapp's Restoration Project, which is a shame because it's just an incredible mod. It brings back all the features, locations that were removed in the original before the game was released. So I'm working on a way to get that working, but there's been some problems with Direct Draw. And if you remove those files that are created from it, you might be able to get it working, but it's only kind of partially working. Anyways, every other patch pretty much works. You can use MASH's resolution patch. I'm going to use the default resolution, but you can put it up and I'll show you how to use those features. As you can see already, quite intensive to load, takes quite a bit longer to get into the game than Fallout 1. And when we actually load into the maps, I'm going to fast forward that just so we'll have more time for the gameplay. We're going to go from, say, Vault City to NCR or New Reno or something, just travel around. Here it is. And the audio over the gameplay, over the videos here works a little better. Well, the more that's happening on the screen, the slower it'll be. And we'll fast forward there because it just kind of loops the audio when there's too much video. There we go. And I got my keyboard. And here we are, Fallout 2 on Android, all the features and audio working. I'm using Mash's resolution patch, and that adds an extra little menu here. Now I'm going to use the default resolution because it has the best performance, but you can actually put it up quite a bit. You can put up the color bit, but it impacts the performance, quite negatively. Anyway, so let's just leave it on default for now, and let's load it up. The load times, especially when you get to the farther points in the game, are about 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll pause it when I'm loading it, just so we can start right into the game. And we're going to start here. You can see I got lots of saved games. We're going to start at Vault City and go from there. Be right back. Please stand by. Here we are at Vault City at the gates. You can see my sweet ride and my party. Now you'll want to note the more people you put in the party, the slower it'll make the game run. It doesn't run as fast as Fallout 1, but it still runs pretty decently. Let's check it out. You can see I'm further in the game. I've got some power armor, car. But you want to limit it to about 2 followers. Now you'll notice when you try to scroll the screen and run at the same time, it kind of lags it out because it's a little more limited. So you want to kind of click, run, move around, and then scroll around the screen. If you do it simultaneously, it lags it out. There we go. You can hear all the audio and sound effects. It's working just fine. A little bit of audio distortion. And all the menu systems, shopping, all that stuff works fine. And if you have a faster device, I kind of like running it at 800 by 600 because you can see more of the map at the time. But for performance sake, I'm going to run it at a lower resolution for the video. And you can see everything loads up pretty quickly. You can go and you can trade. Throw some stuff on the table. It all runs quite well. The main downside is the long load times. The performance is reasonable. There's Nick. Oh. Same thing with the scanner coming up sometimes. There's Sulik. Let's stop and talk to him for a minute. Now the audio works, but some of the facial animations skip sometimes. But still, it's nice to have all the audio working, all the conversations.
Spirits be willing to do it. What you want? We need to go where the spirits go, just not be what they are. What should we?
And of course, you can do all the same inventory stuff. You can do the different mods for Fallout 2. Load your people up. And everything, all the menu systems runs quite well. So it's actually quite easy to play. When I first found how to play this, you could play for maybe 5 minutes. Couldn't even get through like the load menu. I better not go hostile in here. What do you say we hop in our car and we go for a little drive? And like I was saying before, it's a little better to run then scroll the screen. Now in my custom configs for Fallout 2, I've increased to the art cache, because I find that actually helps with the screen scroll issue. But you can also increase the resolution, see more of the screen at a time, so you can just kind of click and move around. Alright. Let's just throw a little gas in the old tank there. Hit the highway. The old irradiated highway. Ooh, not bad. Let's just hit the highway. Now you'll notice the load times are a little longer with Fallout 2 because it's a lot more intensive of a game to run. The maps are quite a bit bigger. It's quite a more dynamic, and especially at the later stages in the game, you have a lot of stuff in your inventory, and it can really slow stuff down. Now let's go check out the military base. And you can see it moves smoothly, but Fallout 1 does run smoother because it's an easier game to run. Again, if you have a faster device, this is going to run better for you. So the better the device you have, the better the performance you can expect. Now, the testing that has been done has kind of revealed it runs pretty well for about an hour. Anything after that, who knows? I've had it run fine for about up to 3 hours. And you'll want to clear the game, make sure it's cleared out when you're done playing it. Oh, here's quite a battle. We're just surrounded by rad scorpions. Let's see how this is going to play out. But even in a complex battle scene like this, the game runs quite well. Even despite the fact it's a harder engine to run, Fallout 2. And you can see there's just a lot of enemies on the screen right now. Luckily, we're pretty well equipped. Again, I like to have a keyboard. It just makes it easier to play. You can do it with combination like mouse and keyboard. But Bluetooth devices, at least with my HP touchpad, run quite well. You can play with the emulator just like you would in Windows. Now, something to note is that the more complicated maps, the maps with more players on them, say for instance New Reno, they're harder to load, they're harder to run, because they're just higher populations. You can alleviate this problem by alleviating part of the population to your liking, and it'll run a little better, but basically the complex maps are going to be harder to run. That being said, it runs quite well, and the really interesting thing about running it with this emulator is that it will only get better in the future as devices get better. So this generation of devices, my HP Touchpad for instance is a year old now, run it decently, and this is going to be the same level as like a Samsung Galaxy 2 HD or Note. This is about the same chipset, so this is about the performance you could expect on those devices as well. But the next generation of devices, it's really going to be something to see. Things are just going to get better and better performance-wise. Now you'll notice the audio is a little glitchy, but as long as the audio is going, you know you're fine. If the audio completely stops working, then your emulator may have frozen, and you just need to hit your home button and start it over. Now I found for improved stability, I like to use CPU application to raise my minimum CPU setting when I'm playing the game, because I find it makes it a little more stable. Make sure if you're going to do that, you set it back down afterwards. You're going to be on a performance setting for the governor setting, and you can raise the minimum. That's what I found helped quite a bit with stability too. And you can use the CPU Master free application to modify your speed if you feel it's necessary, but it may not be. Here we are back on the world map. I've already taken the raiders out. No rad scorpions. No rad scorpions, thanks. This does drain your device's batteries quite readily, so I think the max I can play this for is about 3-4 hours, I think. But then my batteries are pretty much shot because you want to keep the lithium-ion batteries charged at about 30 to 20% and not really let them go under that. Yeah, sure, let's check out a game. As you can see, Fallout 2 runs quite well on Android. We've got all the sounds, we've got all the video, we've got everything. And it's really quite a wonder to do this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Now, I haven't quite finished development on this. This is a good version of this. Everything runs quite stably, but I'm working on a newer version so that I can alleviate some problems like running Killapp's restoration patch. Oh, here we are up against a gang. You better not dent my car. Nice shot, Vic. Oops. Now you can set the custom resolutions with the resolution mod that I'm using. Big thank you to MASH over at No Mutants. So depending on what your device, the screen size you have, you may want to set it at a custom size just so it'll feel bigger on the screen if necessary. I find it's quite playable, but sometimes I have a little problem getting the cursor just where I want it. I'll keep development of this project up. Quite a lot of fun. And this should take him down. Downtown. There you have it. Fallout 1, Fallout 2. They run on Android. They play on Android for extended periods of time with sound, all the good stuff. Oh, is that on all of them? Oh, yeah, that's all of them. Anyways, as you can see, it's quite playable. Now you can download the emulator in the description. Again, you'll need to have your own copy of Fallout 1 or Fallout 2. You'll need to use my config files in the bottom. And then you'll be ready to get in your car, travel the wasteland, have a good old time. Anyways, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this tutorial, enjoyed playing Fallout on your touchpad, cell phone, whatever device you can get this to run on Android. Lots of possibilities here. I spent a couple months developing this, but gonna keep it going. Hope you enjoyed Fallout on Android. Thanks for watching.